Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Father, forgive us. Can you have mercy? Please have mercy on us. Please have mercy on us. We repent of our sins, won't do it again. Deliver us from this evil, chosen people. Please have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. We repent of our sin. Won't do it again. Deliver us from this evil, chosen people. Yeah. Please. Yeah. Forgive us. Fight for us. Forgive us. Chosen people.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mercy Seat. I am your host, YaNi'Yah, and always it is such a pleasure to come to you all. Today is going to be a very exciting day because I want to talk about something that we need to be encouraged with. And if not, and you're doing it, then be encouraging to someone, right? So I want to encourage you with a message that every believer will need at some point in time in their life, and that is trusting the Most High. It is very, very important, right? And trust means everything. Trust as a business partner, trust in a marriage, relationship, friendship, being able to trust somebody, right? And whether we realize it or not, trusting is something that we have to do all the time, right? We trust individuals when it comes down to having to give our information over the phone. You know, you are trusting somebody, right? We have to trust individuals when we give them our cars to be repaired. We have to even trust the food that we eat, right? So everything is dealing with trusting. And so the main person that we really need to make sure that we trust with everything is the Most High. We have to learn how to trust him. So trust is easy when everything is going well, right? I know I hear many individuals saying, and I have said it, right? I have said how much I trust the Most High and he's everything, he got me. And then there comes those times when the storms in our lives happen. And then we find ourselves questioning, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? And how am I going to overcome this obstacle? We start questioning everything. But when we really trust, we have to trust even when the storm is raging, right? Because as I said, it's easy to praise when the bills are paid, when your body feels strong, when your family is at peace and the doors are opening. That's easy. But what happens when the true test comes? Trust when it becomes to that point, nothing around you makes sense. The question is, will you still trust the Most High? Will you still trust God? Would you still believe and know that no matter what is going on, he got me? Because then that means there's no complaining. There's no doubt. There's no worry. You know how when they say, if you're going to worry, don't pray. And if you pray, don't worry. We have to get ourselves to that place and at that point in time. So we have to ask ourselves, do I trust him like that? Do I trust him that when the doctor says, I have an illness. I like to put a pin right there. My brother-in-law, whom I love very, very much, he's been diagnosed with cancer. And but when you see him and his joy, it is so pleasing, it's so touching. And we are all in an agreement that that prostate cancer is going away, that prostate cancer is not going to take him over. And so to be able to see him, and he sit around and he don't play, the pity party, and he's still wanting to do for himself. And I'm sure there's somebody you may know that does that same thing. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. I trust you, Father. I trust that everything is going to be all right. And when we can get to that point, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the place we need to be. We have exceeded where we needed to be in our minds, because then we're telling the Father that no matter what, I trust you. So when we want to think about all of the things that we have been, and everybody ain't always been that way. I know I haven't. I know I had to come to a place where I had to realize, like, you're really not trusting the Father the way you say you do. So I want to read Proverbs 3:5-6, and many of you all may know this, when it says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. I know some people like to say, I love you from the bottom of my heart, right? I say I love you with my whole heart. Because if I say I love you with the bottom of my heart, then it's just the bottom of my heart. It's like I think about that, and it doesn't mean that it's necessarily true, but I like to pay attention to the words that I say out of my mouth. So when I think about the bottom of my heart, it's like you're getting the bottom of my shoe. So you're just getting the last of my heart. But when I think about it, the Father told us to love him with our whole heart. He didn't say from the bottom of our heart. He said to love him with our whole heart. So I like to talk the language he talks, right? So when I think about that, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Just think about that, because we can have many thoughts, right? We can see things the way we want to see things, and we can trust things the way we want to trust things. But when we're trusting him and we're getting ourselves out of the way, are we doing something then? Because if we do it our way, we can have negative thoughts. We can allow ourselves to listen to other people, and other people will encourage us to, well, I understand, and I know it's hard, and no, it's not. It's not hard. Nothing is hard if we are trusting the Most High. He said, in all thy ways. You see that word, all? Think about if I was going to give you, if I had $1 million and I said, I'm going to give you all of what I got, and all I have is $1 million, I'm going to give you all of it. And I only gave you $500,000 of it. Have I given you all of it? No, I've only gave you a portion of it, half of it, right? So when we talk about that word all, let's think about it for what it is. I'm going to give you all. So you said, in all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he shall direct our path. So when we allow ourselves to give everything that we have to the Father, and we're trusting him, I'm in a season right now where I'm trusting him. I'm trusting him with everything that I have right now. And I believe that he's going to bring my situation out without a doubt. There is no doubt. He said, if you have a doubt, you ain't even worthy to be asking him of anything. So there's no doubt in my mind that my brother-in-law is going to be healed. There's no doubt in my mind that my situation is going to come to an end. into a new beginning. So notice that when we're doing that, notice that Yah doesn't tell us to understand everything. He tells us to trust him. He how we're supposed to do. So if we're going to notice that Yah doesn't tell us to understand everything, he tells us to trust him. Trust means believing that Yah is still working when you can't see him. You can't see him working. You can't see what he's doing. It means waiting without complaining, praying without giving up, obeying when it costs you everything, and believing that his promises are true, even when your circumstances seem to say otherwise. Can you imagine? And I've heard many people say this and share this. My rent was due, and I didn't know where the money was going to come, but all of a sudden it happened. I needed something to eat. And all of a sudden I got a knock on the door, and it was bags. People were having bags of food for me. So when we're talking about trusting, we're talking about giving the Father everything that we have. Because once you do that, once you acknowledge that he is the beginning and the end, he is the first and the last, he is the creator of all things, he can make the impossible possible. So when we get to that place and we're really standing strong in that area, there's absolutely nothing that can't be done. I'm going to stick a pin in there, and we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to be right back. We're going to continue to talk about, do you trust him? What is your trust in the Most High? I am YaNi'Yah here at Mercy Seat, and we'll be right back.
Have you seen all the solar farms popping up everywhere? You know, the big. Have you seen all the solar farms popping up everywhere? You know, the big fields with the solar panels? There's one in our community. They produce electricity using the clean energy of the sun to send to the power grid to reduce our energy costs. Because not everybody can get solar panels put on their roof the way I have, but everybody can enroll for free to share the energy produced by the solar farms. That's why they were built. You know you're supposed to be getting a 10 to 20% savings on your bill for that, right? Illinois has a goal to transition by 2050 to 100% clean energy. So everybody needs to be connected. People in other communities are already getting their savings. So I'll be by to see you because they want to make sure you get your savings as well. It just takes a few minutes. I'm Naima Latif. Call me if you have any questions. 312-849-3456.
Well, welcome back. And we're talking about trusting, right? Think of somebody that you trust. I mean, you really trust, you trust your life with. And I do have someone that I trust so much that I trust my life in their hands, right? So let's think about Abraham. The father asked him to leave everything. He asked him to leave everything familiar and go to a land he had never seen. Can you imagine? And I'm sure some people probably have done this, right? You just pack up and say, "Man, I'm going to move into this city, and I'm going into a whole nother place. I don't know nobody." I've heard people do that, right? That's a lot of faith. That's a lot of trusting the Most High that no matter what, you got me. No matter what, you're going to take care of me because you're trusting that he said he is the provider. He said he's the comforter. He's the healer. He's everything. He said he's everything we need. So here it is with Abraham. He leaves, he goes to a place he's never seen. Didn't have information, no details. He didn't have nothing, but he trusted. He trusted the one who gave him the command. And he went and made it happen. That's some deep trust. Can you imagine you're in your home? There are individuals, due to the weather, due to the storms. I heard of someone, they were sharing how a family lost their entire home. Their whole house was just torn up. Tree fell on their house. Everything was damaged. But yet and still, guess what? They didn't panic. They didn't question the most. They didn't question the Most High. They just simply trust that everything is going to be all right. And it's a beautiful thing when you have people who just come together and they share and they make things happen. See, and that's what faith does. When you really truly trust the Most High, when you really is giving him everything that you have and you're being obedient and you're not worried. See, he knows what's going to happen before it happens. He already knows what you need before you ask, but he still wants to hear from you. He still wants you to come to him and tell him, Father, I trust you. I trust you're going to bring me out of this situation. You want to know why I trust you're going to bring me out of this situation? Because you brought me out of another situation. And the time before that, you brought me out of that. And there was a time when it seemed as though nothing was happening. It didn't seem as though you was listening to me. Didn't think as though you had my back. Didn't seem as though you were with me at all. But guess what? You came through. So why would I think anything different? Why would I even want to fathom that is that you're not going to show up? But it's his timing, not our timing, but his timing. Not our ways, but his ways. Because he knows. And then there are some of us who have had things to happen. And we really wasn't trusting like we should have. But because of our lack of, there comes sometimes when he'll let things happen. And he'll say, see, I got you. All you gotta do is trust in me. And so we do what we do, and we hold on, and then when we come out of that, for some of us, we praise him then. But he wants you to be able to trust him to the point where you praise him before you get out. Let's think about Joseph, right? He was betrayed by his brothers, sold in slavery. Now, come on now. We know some individuals, if you went through some stuff like that, you still won't even be forgiving them. Nevertheless, say anything else. You would never trust them. You would never want nothing else to do with them if you had to go through that, right? But here's Joseph. He betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. Now, let's just think of that. Let's just fathom that by itself for the moment. Okay? We're just going to go piece by piece. You betrayed by your own family. Think about this. Now, this is what Joseph went through, right? Betrayed by your own family. Sold off into slavery by your own family. And then you got this woman falsely accusing you. And now you're imprisoned. You'll be questioning the Father, what did I do? Why am I going through this? Why are you doing this to me? What have I done? And let me tell you something. Most individuals, when they ask that question, you should reflect back on your life. Just think back over your life. All of the sin you've committed, all of your wrongdoings that you may have done, the lies you have told, even the little mediocre stuff. And it may just be to that point where the Father just wants you to be able to focus on you. And you are learning you in that storm. You're getting to understand you in that storm. When I started going through the storm that I'm in now, all praises to the Father. And I remember a couple of times, right? A couple of times I'm like, whew. And as I'm journeying along, I'm talking to the Father. And the Father allowed me the opportunity to know and understand that he had me. And so I had to take a step back. And then I had to tell the Father, thank you. Yes, I wanted to cry, and there was times I did. But then I became to a place and a point in my life when I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to trust you with everything that I have. And no matter how long you have me in this storm, every lesson you want me to learn, every person you want me to talk to, every person you want me to share with, every testimony you want me to tell while I'm in this storm, everything I encounter, I am going to praise you. I will not wait until the storm is over. I'm going to be like the Messiah. I'm going to lay in the boat. While everything is going on, I'm going to lay in the boat. I'm resting. I'm chilling. I'm doing what I need to do because I'm going to wait until you say, peace be still. See, in my mind, I learned how to say peace be still. That peace be still, that no matter what is going on around me, I'm at peace. Perfect peace. So when we think about going back over to Joseph, we have to understand, Father never left him. What looked like a setback became the very path Yah used to save many lives. He went on back. See, in spite of it all, everything that was said in regards to what was told to his brothers and his father, all of that came to pass. So sometimes when you're trusting the Most High, when you really, really trust in him, that means that you're standing still, you're standing strong, you're going through. He said that we will have trials and tribulations. So while you're going through your trials and tribulations, stand strong. Keep that smile on your face. Every once in a while, just tell them, hey, I love you. Hey, just like you haven't given up on me, I haven't given up on trusting you. Just like you continuously allow me to move and navigate the way you have me moving and navigating, I'm still trusting you while you doing what you're doing. We got to get to that place where we trust him with everything that we have. Let's think about Job. He lost nearly everything he had, but he refused to let go of his faith in the Most High. I'm hoping that everyone that has an opportunity to hear this and hear this well. If you believe that the Father is who he is, then I don't care what you're going through. You trust him. You trust him with everything you have inside of him, inside of you. You trust him with it. Because let me tell you something. When we had people in our lives that we trusted, they betrayed us or turned on us or did things to bring harm to us. And we'll sit back and say, I trusted them with everything I had. And look what they did to me. But guess what? You'll never be able to say that about the Father. I don't care how long it goes. But while you in it, see, when you was in it with somebody else and you was doing what you was doing, you was working, you was giving your all, and no matter what it looked like, you continue to press, you continue to find other ways and other avenues, whatever it is that you need to do, you did that. Because you wanted that person to know just how much you trusted them, or just how much you loved them, or just how much, whatever the reason or the cause was. But that's the same thing that we need to do with the Father. But this time, no, he ain't gonna fail you. Just like he didn't fail Job, just like he didn't fail Joseph, he's not gonna fail you. So sometimes the Father allows us to walk through the valley, so we learn that he is our shepherd. Sometimes he allows the storms because he wants us to know he is greater than the wind and the waves. I'm telling you, you have to learn how to sit down, to lay down in that boat and just rest and count it okay. And be careful of who you have in your ear, because you can have a whole lot of negative folks. And sometimes they don't be meaning no harm. They don't be meaning no harm. Some of them don't mean any harm. Some individuals are just sent by the enemy and used by the enemy. But always remember, Father got the last say. Father has the control over all things. So if you have people in your ear and while you're going through your storm, and instead of them encouraging you and telling you everything is going to be all right, and they're telling you hold on, you stand strong. You know that, hey, he said he will never leave nor forsaken you. He said you are more than a conqueror. He said that he will provide your every need. Everything that I'm going through, I look back and I'm still looking at it because I'm still in the storm. But let me tell you something. He provides. And what he desires of me to have, I got it. What he desires of me to do, I do it. Because he's a way maker. He's not just somebody that I can have a conversation about because everything is going good and as though what I see, and then we can sit back and we can he and a ha and we can talk about all of the goodness of the Father and this and that and the other and everything is great. No, I'm talking about doing that same thing while it seems like everything around me is crumbling. When your family is turning their backs on you or talking about you. When your marriage seems like it's going down into the pits of hell. When it seems as though you don't have a source of income coming in hardly from nowhere. When you're sitting here and no matter what you put your hand to, it seems as though it just crumbles. You give your all to everything and it seems as though nothing is manifesting. But yet and still you keep a smile on your face and you say, guess what? It ain't a pretend smile. This is a for real smile. I trust you, Father. So if you're waiting today, trust him. If you're hurting today, trust him. If you're praying for healing, restoration, provision, or direction, trust him. No matter what is going on, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad it smells, trust him. And when I tell you his timing is perfect, his timing is perfect. His wisdom is greater than ours. His love never fails those who seek him with a sincere heart. See, you know what? As I share with individuals oftentimes, I say this. The Father is not an ATM. So I always stop trying to look at, with your hand out and just, bless me. Bless me. He blessed you. He gave you mercy every time you woke up and give you another chance that if your life isn't right, to get it right. Trust him. In Psalms 37:5, it says, commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Let's dissect that for a minute. He said, commit thy way unto him, right? We commit ourselves to everything else. I've seen people commit themselves so wholeheartedly, been there, done that, could write a book about it, unto individuals, and they'll fail you. Whether it's their fault or not, it doesn't even matter. I'm not into the blame game. But he said, trust also in him. So he said, not only did he say commit to him, he said trust in him. We commit to relationships. And when you commit to a relationship, some people go in with no trust. But in the midst of going in with no trust is because of whatever probably has been going on, or maybe you're not a person that has been healed. But when we're talking about the Father, he said, commit thy way unto the Lord and trust also in him. So you're going to commit to him, you're going to trust in him. And he said he shall. He didn't say maybe, might, possibly. He didn't say that. He said, and he shall bring it to pass. So anything that you sincerely commit to and trust in the Most High for, and don't be on top of the game of being obedient. I'm talking about obedient. It's done. And it ain't nothing nobody else can say or do. He will close doors that no man can open and open doors that no man can close because he is the mighty Yah. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Hey, he is the creator of all things. If he can speak the sun and the moon that we depend on, that you looking up at the sky, you can see the sun. He spoke it into an existence. You gonna shortchange him? Oh no, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure in everything that we do, we give him our all. We're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come on back and we're gonna talk a little bit more about trusting the Most High. I'm trying to tell you, I'm talking about really, really trusting in Him. All right, we'll be right back.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
Welcome back. Again, I'm YaNi'Yah here at Mercy Seed, and we're talking about trusting Yah, right? Trusting Yah is one of the greatest expressions of faith because trust is demonstrated through obedience, not just words. You know that old adage, action speaks louder than words. It really does. Because if somebody was telling you that they love you, but yet and still their actions is saying something different, you're going to be like, how can you say you love me, but you talk to me any kind of way? How can you say you love me, but you treat me bad? How can you say you love me, but you lie on me, you take from me? Whatever it is that it shows or displays the opposite of, a person can't tell you that they love you and they're doing all of the things they can to hurt you, right? So throughout scripture, those who trusted Yah chose to obey him, even when they didn't understand his plan, right? So let's talk about trust begins with knowing who Yah is. You cannot fully trust someone you do not know. The more time you spend in prayer, studying his word and walking with him, the more you learn his character. The more you learn of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And we have to know and understand this. When you really want to know someone or get to know someone and you want to be able to build that trust, that relationship, there has to be a connection. You see what I'm saying? There has to be something that is going on in order for you to be able to say you trust. See, we can't just grow up hearing what somebody else say, but then we don't have no relationship. See, like this. And it's very hurtful and sad when it has to happen. But just say, for instance, children who have grown up and their parent has passed away. And people talk about the goodness of their parent. They say, but still deep down inside, it's like you still would have loved to have been able to have that personal relationship yourself. Nahum 1:7 says, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. He know when you trust him, like for real, for real. And he knows when you just going through the motion, when you just running off at the mouth. He knows that. So we have to know that he is good even when life is difficult. His character never changes. He said he is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. So trust requires obedience. Many people say they trust him, but trust is, again, proven by obedience, right? So let's think about Noah. Noah built the ark before he saw rain. Abraham left his homeland, as I said earlier, without even knowing where Yah was leading him to. Moses stretched out his staff before the sea parted. That was some serious faith. That was some serious trust. And then when we get to that place and that point, we then can continue on to be able to speak in regards to. So I want to be able to touch on some other things. I'm going to be right back. We're going to take this commercial.
When you see Black children misbehaving in public, being loud, disrespectful, and destructive, do you think to yourself, what they need is a good beating? That's what's wrong with these parents. They don't know how to discipline their children. Were you disciplined in that way? And did your parents also call you stupid, ignorant, and lazy? That's the way you break a slave. You terrorize them with constant fear of painful punishment. You teach them they're powerless to speak up. And you insult them so they feel like nothing. We were broken by parents who were broken, by parents who were broken. It's time to end the cycle of brokenness and bring healing to ourselves and our communities by using knowledge, respect, and love. We'll show you how. I'm Naima Latif. Get the book Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. On sale now. Go to www.naimalatif.com.
Hello and welcome back. As we were saying, as I was sharing right before we went to break, it's so very, very important that we understand what trust really means, right? And we often want the Father to reveal every step before we move. Some people have to say they have to plan everything. It's like if the I's isn't dotted, the T's isn't crossed, I ain't moving. I'm not going to do anything. But as we see other people who in the Bible was trusting the Most High, did things without being able to see it. Blessed is they who have not seen but yet do believe. Right? So trust says, Father, I don't understand, but I know you do. I don't know what the outcome is, but I know that you do. Because I trust you with everything. Because my outcome, if you are handling it and you said that you have, you're directing my path, then I know you know better than I do in regards to the outcome. I know you see it. You told me you knew me before I was formed in my mother's womb. You said you carefully and wonderfully made me. You said you had plans for me. I'm going through the process. And majority of the plans that I have encountered, many of us are messed up because we didn't ask the plan. So trust produces peace. Many of us are messed up in our heads because we didn't trust the process. When we trust him, we stop carrying burdens. We never intend, he never intended for us to carry in the first place. He said he would put no more on us than we can bear. In Isaiah 26, 3-4, he said, thou will keep him in perfect peace, not just peace. I always, when I share this scripture, I always have to like really stop and pause there. He didn't say that he would just give you peace. He said perfect peace. But whose mind is stayed on him because you trust in him. When you trust in him, I don't care what's going on. You can look at it and laugh at that situation. Father got this. This another situation? Look, my daddy got this. Peace doesn't come because circumstances are perfect. So the situation may not be perfect. The situation may not even look perfect. But our perfect Father is making perfect things happen. And that's what we got to trust him. So peace doesn't come because circumstances are perfect. It comes because he is faithful and he is perfect. You hear what I'm saying to you? Trust is tested in difficult situations. You don't never know how much you really trust anything until something goes wrong. Anyone can trust when life is easy. That's fine. I mean, think about Job, right? You know, I talked about Job earlier. Think about Job. Messiah told me, said, of course he ain't gonna turn his back on you. Everything is perfect. Everything he need, he got. Everything is just where it needs to be. He said, but take your hand off of him. Let me get to him. I'll show you how much he can trust you. So Job, again, as I said, Job lost nearly everything he had, yet he continued to acknowledge the Most High. See, there comes some times when the Father is developing, he's developing your character. He's letting you see who you really are. Yeah. You really just, sometimes when you're going through something, just sit back and evaluate yourself. Not anybody else. Evaluate yourself. When we talk about patience. Ooh, Father, I need him to bless me with patience. And then he puts you in that traffic and you complaining and you fussing, you road raging. You want patience, but then he puts you in that line, that grocery line when you got to wait. You remember, sometimes when that person gets something, they don't have a tag and they got to call or they got to do some things to find out, what that price is. But you tell them you want patience. Trust requires patience. Yah's timing is never late. It's something when many people can sit up there and say, he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Oh, he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. But that's because it's going the way you want it to go. But then let something happen. Oh, Father, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do, Father. Where are you? But in Psalms 27:14, it says, wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. You ready to wait on him? You truly want to wait on him? Waiting is not wasted time. Yah is preparing you while you wait. He's preparing you. I'm going to tell you something. Through my storm that I'm going through right now, baby, it has made me a stronger and wiser woman. It had made me, I'm going to say made me. It allowed me to be able to see where my weaknesses were. He allowed me to be able to see the characteristics of which I needed to wait on. There was a time I didn't even realize operating in fear. And it took what I'm going through for me to recognize that. He told me he didn't give me the spirit of fear. So trusting brings blessings. So those who trust the Most High are firmly established because their confidence rests in him rather than changing the circumstances. See, it's not about you changing my situation because it's going to be changed. Because it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I already know. He said in Jeremiah 17:7-8, he said, blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord and whose hope the Lord is in. I'm trying to tell you, for real. So like a tree planted by the water, the person who trusts Yah continues to bear fruit even during seasons of drought. Even when it seems as though there is nothing that can be brought up. nothing that can flourish, because it doesn't even seem like life is flourishing, because the most of the time when people are having those issues, it's financial. So I have a question. Ask yourself this question. Am I trusting Yah? Or am I trusting God? Whichever way you want to ask, it's fine with me. Or am I only trusting him when things go my way? Is my obedience based on convenience or conviction? I'm going back to that first question I asked, and let's just think about that. I just want to kind of ponder on that for a minute. Am I trusting him only when things are going my way? Because that's easy. You have a car, you have a house, you have money, you're able to go where you want to go, you're able to do what you want to do. Health is well, family is well, everybody able to come together, have a little picnic, put some meat on the grill, everything is going fine, hee ha ha. Oh, hallelujah, praise your name, Father, I love you, and then you can have them spiritual conversations and don't nobody have an attitude or feel a certain kind of way, you know what I'm saying? But what if something happens? Do your trust go out the window? What happens when that whirlwind comes? Do you still trust him? Is my obedience based off if you are obedient? Because everybody think that they're obedient, right? I need to have, I'm gonna do a teaching on the obedience part. But we all, many of us just think we're very obedient. Is my obedience based on convenience or conviction? Because if you haven't had no convictions, if you've never like been convicted, like I'm doing something and I don't feel convicted, or I've done something, I'm trying to justify that's not being obedient, right? That's just doing you. That's you saying what is right and what is wrong. My other question is, what fear or burden do you need to surrender to the Most High today? I told you I had a fear and I had to surrender it. And I felt good behind that. I realized how free I was able to feel. Last question. Does my daily life demonstrate that I truly believe the Father's promises? When I look out today and I see all of the storms and everything that has taken place, and I remember he said that there will come times when we couldn't tell one season from the next. And he said men will become lovers of themselves. And he said there will be wars. And he said and then he said those are the beginning of sorrows. So when I look out and I see stuff that is happening and I see people moving the way that they move, it's like all I can say is you said that, Father. You said that these times will come. So trusting him is not believing that he will always do what you want. It is believing that whatever he does is righteous. It's righteous, it's wise, and for his glory. Because many individuals always want to do something for their own pleasures. I always tell individuals, I'm not literally scared, but I just, just make the statement sometimes, and I'm gonna stop doing that too. But sometimes I'll be like, I'm scared of those who sit back and say I'm doing me. It's not that I'm scared of you. I'm praying for those who sit back and say I'm doing me. That is not a good place to be. That you just doing you. I'm praying for those who sit back and say I'm living my best life yet. Especially when people say, Oh, they gone on to be in a better place. Well, if people want to pass away and go on to be in a better place, then how you living your best life yet or now or however it goes? If there's something better afterwards. So see how sometimes we could just say stuff because it's convenient or it's cliche because we hear other people say it. You know, people love to share things that they hear that other people say. And they say, ooh, girl, that sounds profound, girl. That's it right there, man. Right? And then we want to say it, not even realizing the things that we say. I'm going to give you one example, right? One example is I heard somebody, I would hear people say, well, as long as I'm 6 feet above ground, I'm doing good. So my question is what I just said not too long ago. If we say that we leave this here place, we're going to a better place, then why is it being 6 feet above ground better? Somebody one day can answer that question for me. If we say, and like I said, I hear a lot of people say this. If people say, as long as I'm 6 feet above ground, I'm doing good, then why do we say when people are put in the ground or once they pass away, they're going to a better place? Well, faith says, I trust your heart, even when I cannot trace your hand. I trust you, Father. I choose not to do anything other than give you my all. I do nothing other than trust you with my whole heart, mind, strength, and soul. I trust you, Father. And I hope that this message will remind or allow many individuals to understand that trusting the Most High is a daily walk. It's a daily walk of faith. It's a daily walk of obedience. It's a daily walk of patience, a daily walk of confidence. We can change, and many of us need to change. Father changes not. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is the same. It is us who needs to change. So are you willing to change today? If your faith is not there, or you're kind of shaky with your faith, some people say they have mustard seed size faith. But then we have to acknowledge this. When you're still saying you have mustard seed size faith, that means your faith ain't moved. It haven't shifted. Because you can't be mustard seed size faith 20 years later. That thing should have harvest. There should be, you should be the harvest of that mustard seed by now. You should have a whole field of trust, because if you had mustard size faith 20 years ago, I'm sure you had to exercise your faith some more within that 20 years. That should have developed you to a whole nother level of thinking. Matter of fact, I ain't even talking about the mustard seeds no more, because I got a whole forest, a whole plantation, a whole whatever, a whole field. Man, I'm so full of faith. Man. We should be, when he said, told Abraham in regards to the grains of the sand. That's how your faith should be. I'm just saying, we say if we know better, we do better, right? We say practice makes perfect, right? What are we exercising, guys? What are we looking at? What are we thinking about when it comes to our Father? Have you been tested lately? Have you been at a place in your life where you can say, hey, this is what I'm leaning to. This is what I'm holding on to. Why? Because the Father is faithful and he is true. So as we get ready to close out this segment, I really want to say, when it comes down to trusting the Father, it is not based on anybody else. You can't just trust him based off of what I'm seeing and what I experience in my life. You have to know how to trust him for yourself, for your own experience, for your own encounters. You have to be at a place and a point and a time in your life when you are sharing with somebody else. And there's nothing like being in a conversation, you and somebody else, and y'all sharing the goodness of the Most High, and you sharing your testimony, they sharing their testimony, and somebody who don't even realize they have a testimony, right? But someone who may be going through something, and they're hearing the passion in your voice, they're hearing the passion in that person's voice, and they're sitting here like, wow, is that really possible? Can I really experience that? Do he really love me? Would he give me the same thing like he has given you guys? Would he allow himself to reign in my life like he reigning in you all's lives? We're supposed to be a light, a beacon. We're supposed to be a testimony. That's what we're supposed to be. So can you still trust the Most High when life doesn't make sense? So I hope in this episode of Mercy Seat that we have explored, or you feel as though we can explore what it truly means to trust the Most High through every season of life. Whether you are facing trials, waiting on answers, prayers, seeking direction, or standing in faith during difficult times. I hope that you will learn that trusting the Most High is more than a feeling. It is a daily decision to walk in obedience, to surrender our understanding, and believe that he is faithful and full of promises. He's faithful and true, guys. He really is. And so I hope that we have discovered that. And if you didn't believe that, I hope you do believe that now. How to trust him with everything that you have. And the more you experience, and the more you look at what seems to be the bad part of things, or the things that's making you feel a certain kind of way, the more you do that, the more you allow yourself to experience that, the more you will realize just how awesome he is. I am your host, YaNi'Yah, here in Mercy Seat, and I leave with you. Trust him with your whole heart, mind, strength, and soul. And I guarantee you, he'll bring you out. He said he will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. And if you believe that, if you do have that mustard seed size of faith, then trust that and know he got you. Again, I am YaNi'Yah, and it has been a pleasure to be with you and you with me. And until next time, I hope you have a trustworthy experience.
Father, forgive us. Can you have from this evil, chosen people. Please have mercy on us. Please have mercy on us. We repent of our sin, won't do it again. Deliver us from this evil, chosen people. Yeah, please, yeah, forgive us.
We've come to the end of our show today.
I had my, oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness.